Peace, peace, peace to the family. Oh my goodness, y'all are here already. Good to see y'all. Good to see y'all. Wonder if there's enough light. Kind of doing it low. About to destroy my setup. What's up, y'all? See y'all out there commenting. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? So you might want to move back. So yeah, can y'all see me? Can y'all hear me? Drop a purple heart if y'all are still there. I know I'm running late. It's at 11. Here it is. 9:15. So I'm running a little late. What's going on, y'all? How's everybody doing? Okay, there y'all are. Peace, great goodness. Peace, Ernestine. Peace, Michael. Okay. Good to see y'all tonight. Peace, Nazola. Greetings. Okay. New faces. I love it. All right. I love seeing y'all. Actually, I try to create an ambiance, but it's too dark. Let me put on some light. Let me put on some light real quick. Good to see everybody here. I know I was running late. I'm gonna play a little bit of music, and then we're gonna get in. All right, y'all know how I usually started. The shaman from the AA Rashid. I sip some water. I had y'all waiting long enough. I'm gonna give it like 2 minutes or till this track is up, and then we'll go.
Bring about a transformation of the mind.
Yes.
Not accept things as they are.
No.
But to understand it, to go into it, to examine it.
Yes.
Give your heart and your mind with everything that you have to find out.
32.
A way of living differently.
Yes.
But that depends on you and not somebody else. Because in this there is no teacher, no pupil. There is no leader. There is no guru. There's no master, no savior. You yourself are the teacher and the pupil. You are the master, you are the guru, you are the leader. You are everything. Bring about a transformation of the mind.
Yes.
Not accept things as they are.
No.
But to understand it, to go into it, to examine it.
Yes.
Give your heart and your mind with everything that you have to find out.
32.
A way of living differently.
Yes.
But that depends on you and not somebody else. Because in this there is no teacher, no pupil. There's no leader. There's no guru. There's no master, no savior. You yourself are the teacher and the pupil. You are the master, you are the guru, you are the leader. You are everything.
Everything.
To understand
Picasso told me.
is to transform what is.
Picasso told me. Your art is all for me. Soledad on me. Art all around me. Use it as a weapon, nigga. Show 'em about the star systems. Saturn with my pattern. Reverse all around me. Stars will announce me. Planets will pronounce me. King of the ethers. On Jupiter I'm fatter. Monad the matter. Duplicate the data. Manifest the Trina. Manipulate the squares. Deafen the arena. Show 'em about the solar system. Saturn with my pattern. Reverse when you're around me. Stars will announce me. Planets will pronounce me.
All right. That's it. That's what I need to hear. Stars will announce me. Planets will pronounce me. Yes. What's going on, family? Hope everybody's doing all right. Was wanting to come in, see what's up. We have a great talk tonight. We're going to talk about the five elements. All right. What is the real fifth element? Some deep diving. This is my idea of what the fifth element is, not something I read in a book, just based on observation, understanding, and a little decoding. Okay. We're going to talk about pentagrams. All right. We're going to talk about how to use pentagrams, what pentagrams are for. We're going to demystify pentagrams. All right. We're going to take away the evil. Jarvion, this is on thatpiff.com. So that's where you find that, thatpiff.com. And we're going to talk about pentagrams, and we're going to talk about hexes, and we're going to talk about blessings. Okay, so we're going to talk about how to use the pentagram to do both. Peace, Alexis, what's going on? All right, and we're going to talk about how to do both. So the main purpose of this topic, as you guys know, yes, great goodness, thank you. Yes, like, share, subscribe. What we're going to talk about, like I said, is these topics. And of course, if you follow me, shout out to anybody who's a new subscriber. If you follow me, you know we always start with the astrology, and then we go to the main point. Also, shout out to Great Goodness Goddess. She had me set up a Patreon, so she told me to set up a Patreon. So I set up the Patreon. All right, so check it out. It is in the description. Even after you see this, you'll see there is a link to the Patreon. Check out the Patreon. There's different tiers. I'll be still be going live here on YouTube twice a week. Normally what I do, I usually go live twice a week, and I drop a recorded video once during the week. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a third YouTube, but it's going to be for Patreon members. So we're going to go live on Patreon, and on Patreon, you know, I could play different music. I could go a little bit rawer. I finally upgraded my YouTube to the Zoom. Shout out to everybody who's waiting for the uncut gems. I couldn't do it this weekend, this Sunday, so my apologies for that. Had my daughter, some situations come up, so I wasn't really even home. But this weekend coming up, I that did upgrade the Zoom, so we do it. So if you pay for it already, don't worry, it's not going to be part of the Patreon. But going forward, I have different tiers where I'll be decoding a movie each month. All right, where I'll be doing readings also once a week, you know, depending on the tier. Also, where I'll be doing shout outs, you'll get shout outs in the videos depending on the tier. So I have different tiers available, and just a tier if you want to support me in this work and the things I'm doing monthly. So I do appreciate y'all for that. Shout out to Great Goodness again for the idea, and me for implementing it. Okay, so let's start off with the astrology. Hope you guys have had a good week of manifesting. What should be happening is right now there are um right now there are incidents where people are becoming much more psychic, much more clairvoyant. Look, I want to turn the light off, guys. All right, you guys have seen my face before, so hopefully you guys aren't disturbed. All right, just go back, look at my old videos. I just want to be in like a dark environment right now for some reason. Oh, and shout out to my black opal ring that came in yesterday. Okay, Ethiopian opal. This joint feels crazy on the hand. All right, if you ever mess with moldavite, this feels like putting on moldavite. Okay, if you're interested, email me, Blackstorm Rob. I'll tell you who I got it from. Okay, it's the same gem that was in Uncut Gems. Same gemstone. Okay, and it's official. This guy's official. So I kind of want to be in like Scorpio. Okay, so the moon is waxing, meaning that there is excess energy. Of course, you know, Scorpio deals with the mysteries. Scorpio deals with things that are hidden. Scorpio deals with things that are not necessarily apparent, but they will come to you gotta watch YouTube, Raymond. No, this, well, I'll show it real quick. You probably can't see in the dark, but bam. Okay, but you will see the see, guys, see, I lost my thought. Oh, so we'll see things that are hidden come up. Also, we are in Cancer season right now. Okay, so we just entered Cancer season. The sun is in Cancer on the west, so a lot of people are in their emotions. Okay, and or what I was going to say is you should be tapping into some psychic powers right now. All right, I've done readings from some of y'all. Shout out to y'all who have booked me for readings, and a couple of y'all, you know, told me, oh, I'm seeing things different. Like, you know, I'm having premonitions about people that I was talking about. I'm having different views on people that I was speaking with. Well, that's what's supposed to happen. Okay, now is a time where people are stepping into their superpowers. They're stepping into their psychic ability, their clairaudience, their clairvoyance, their clairsentience, okay? Whatever other mystical power that you are supposed to have, you should be getting downloads and uploads. And don't worry, if you're not, it's going to come, all right? And it may come through trauma, okay? So what's happening right now is there's a lot of energy that is in the universe. We just had a solar eclipse. We have a lunar eclipse that is coming up on the 5th. Okay, so we just had a solar eclipse, what, last week, maybe, right? Or the week before last, depending on how you look at it. And now we're having a lunar eclipse. So this eclipse energy is heavy. If you go outside and have been in the sun, you'll feel that the sun even feels different. All right. The heat feels different than just the heat that I've felt over the years. It's yeah, it's still hot, yeah, it's still heavy, but it doesn't feel as abrasive, you know? It doesn't feel as harsh to me as I felt and maybe that's just because I'm, in a much more receptive space, through growing spiritually, but it feels a lot different than the sun of times past. So you definitely want to get out there and absorb that sun. Remember, like I always tell you guys, your skin is Black Panther's suit. Your skin is a solar panel. So the more light you get from the sun, the better. The more you can absorb those solar rays, those UV rays, the better it is. Not only for your mental health, not only for your spiritual health, but also for your physical health. Okay. The more you sweat you get from the sun, the more toxins you sweat out. So definitely, like I say, take your breaks, take your 10, 15 minutes. If you're at work, take your hour, take a walk. If you're going to sweat, bring your body spray, hit it in the bathroom or whatever, don't go back to work staking, offending the coworkers and stuff like that. But you definitely want to touch the sun for real, because it feels different and you want to tap into these powers. Now is the time. Now is the time because the way everything is going and the way things are changing, you want to be as on point and as receptive. Now is really like heart, ma'at time. Now is really like heart on feather. If you're a person that's sensitive and people have been mocking you for being sensitive for years, now is the time to tap into that sensitivity and see what it's for and really feel, right? Really feel from a sincere place, not being sensitive, reactionary, but sensitive, proactive, being proactive with your sensitivity, meaning that you are, even in spaces that are not filled with trauma, you are tapping into that sensitivity. Because a lot of times people are sensitive when somebody does something to them or when the environment causes them to respond to something. But what about when there's nothing happening? Are you still sensitive to your environment? Are you still sensitive to the area that's around you? Are you still sensitive to the people that are around you? Can you feel the vibe of people? Can you feel the vibe of when you go into different stores, when you go into different spaces? Can you feel that vibe? So that's the level of sensitivity that you need to tap into, be that have that light as a feather, and to be able to tap into psychic powers. Okay. So the whole year is structured for you to know thyself. Really, it's like a forced mystery school, so to speak. If you really think about 2020 with the whole COVID thing happening, right? How everybody was locked down. I mean, prior to that, even with the Kobe thing happening, Kobe dying, right? People being sad and moving right to COVID, another sad, if depending on how you look at it, time period, right? For the masses, we, those that have known, we may have been sad, but we kind of bounced out of it, right? Because we know that in great tragedy, there's opportunity as well. So we didn't just sit here sad. We try to create and recreate ourselves. But maybe you didn't, but there is still time. And this year is showing you that there is time. This year is forcing people to step back and look at themselves and really tap into who and what they are. Now, you could run through this reality right now this year and be involved in masking reality by using drugs, by overindulging in drugs, overindulging in liquor, overindulging in escapism, whether that be movies, whether that be food, whether that be sex, whether that, people are addicted to different things, right? You could be ODing on marijuana every day, right? Since March, right? You could have just kush coma your life away. And there are times of stress where you do need to, might need to hit that kush coma, right? But if you're kush comaing every day and you're still stuck in the same place and you're still scared and you're still worried and you're still fearful, then you have to really analyze what the kush coma is doing to you. Maybe you need to add some discipline to your cushion, right? Maybe you need to add a time frame where you smoke and a time frame where you get busy on working on thyself and knowing thyself and expanding thyself, all right? So, yeah, I know I'll go off on these tangents, but hopefully they make sense to everybody. I myself am not a perfect person by any means. I hope that I don't come across that way. Or that I don't come across as self-righteous. I stumble, I fall, I make mistakes. If you look back on my old videos, I try to document them as clear as possible, to let everybody know that we are all human, but this is an everyday. I fall, but I can say I get up, and I have a great support system that I have cultivated as family. People from all different states that I could call up and talk to via the internet, right? Using the internet properly, so that when I do have tough times, when I do have things that are crazy, someone could help heal the healer, right? And we all that are teachers, we all that are healers, we all that are, people that are doing this type of work. We need others. We need communities. We need people to help us. Don't try to do this, even though it is an isolated, self-motivated, self-disciplined, self-initiated path that we are on. We can't forget that we also need resources as well to help us, to help guide us, and to help put us, keep us on a help us keep us people that are good people, of course, to help keep us on that path, right? And to help us when we I don't want to say fall short, because you never fall short. Even when you bump your head, that's always a lesson. But when you're not going according to your flow, so to speak, when things knock you off your high horse, so to speak, you need those people. That's family. That's a system. Those planets, right? Just like the universe has different galaxies, just like the Milky Way has different planets. You need those planets. Okay. So peace, Leslie. All right. So let's get into it. Intensity is what the moon in Scorpio is all about, whether it's passion, elation, sorrow, or desire. Emotions are felt on a deeply personal level. We are motivated by desire to get to the bottom of things, and we instinctively read between the lines. Superficiality won't work for us now. The moon in Scorpio urges us to uncover our own power. Okay, so like I said, a lot of people are stepping into their power right now. A lot of people are getting different downloads. A lot of people are getting tuned into their psychic abilities. A lot of people are feeling different things, right? Things are shifting, relationships, friendships, even the way people are feeling about where they work, where they want to live. Okay, so this is a common theme. Even if we look at the last video, we were talking about Virgo, it still is this, even though it's a different sign, it's still the same type of theme where you can't be superficial. Okay, superficiality won't work for us now. So it's about who you truly are. It's about that real light as a feather frequency, that Ma'at frequency, that balance to who are you? What are you here to do? Are you here to be, what kind of creator are you here to create? Right? What type of creator are you here to be? Are you here to build, sustainable homes? Are you here to be a freedom fighter on the front lines? Are you here to participate in marches? Are you here to be a great cook for people who are freedom? Are you here to be a person that makes great merch? Are you here to be a person that is a weapon specialist? Are you here? What is your purpose? What is the thing that you love? What is the thing that you were put here and born, that you reincarnated in this fleshly vehicle, in this avatar, that just, again, superficiality won't work for us now. All right. Think about this, right? Let me go into this and I'll talk. The moon in Scorpio urges us to uncover our own power. And it's an excellent time to rid ourselves of old fears and limiting habits. It can be an intimate and passionate time. Okay. And this is mostly intimacy because it's Cancer season. It's mostly intimacy within yourself. And remember, we still are under retrogrades as well, right? There's a good 5 planets still spinning out here. So let's look at the retrograde calendar. So we got Uranus coming in August, but right now we got 5 planets. We still got Mercury in retro. We still got Jupiter in retro, all right? We still got Saturn. Let's break it down real quick. Mercury, communication, in retro. So going back, thinking how you communicate, how you connect with others, how you talk to people, okay? How do people communicate with you? How do you communicate with the environment in the world that you're in, all right? It's in Cancer. So it's dealing with your inner sensibilities. Retro means back, right? When you're wearing retro shoes, you're wearing throwback shoes, throwback jerseys, whatever you want to call it, right? So retro is always going back. So whenever you're dealing with a retrograde, it's a go blast back to the past. And internal, this is why travel's messed up. This is why transportation is messed up. This is why computers gets messed up during Mercury retrograde. All right, because it's always about going back into the past. There's always a force forcing communication back into the past. And in Cancer, it's definitely dealing with our past emotions, our past sensibilities. And you're probably feeling that. If you're in relationships, you're probably going through it. You're having issues. It could be family issues if it's not an intimate relationship. Okay, Jupiter in Capricorn. Jupiter is a planet of luck. So this is the sector where we're tapping into these spiritual powers. It's a planet of luck, planet of abundance, planet of wealth. Right, Jupiter is Thursday. If you're in the occult community, we do a lot of money magic, abundance magic on Thursday. Okay, very powerful. Well, we'll get into that. But Capricorn, Cap, Horn. Okay, so the horn signs, Cap, Taurus, Sagittarius, it's usually aggressive energy. Okay, even those type of people, they usually have aggressive kind of mindsets. Initially, and they might be quiet at first. When you get to know them, you see that horn pop out, right? So this is just saying that your luck and your abundance, if you're tuned in, right, it's showing you areas, and life is showing you areas and spaces where you were lucky. Life is showing you times in your life where you were happy. Life is showing you times in your life, again, blast in the past, in your mind, in your environment, different things that are being said by people are blasting you back to that childhood moment, right? When you were at your happiest, when you were inquisitive, when you were joyous, right? And this is aggressive energy pushing you towards that. So again, you could lose this in escapism. So you got to be careful. You could lose the opportunity to get these gifts. Saturn in Aquarius. Okay, Saturn is basically order, law and order. You can be organized. Aquarius is basically Aquarius, the water bearer, right? But Aquarius is air sign. Also, we're entering the age of Aquarius, right? We said we're in the age of Aquarius now because this is 2012. Shout out to Dreamwise. He was just put a status. So according to the Mayans, 2012 is when it's all supposed to break down. Then we are in the age of Aquarius. So that is, if this don't show that we're in the age nothing is. So Pluto and Capricorn. Okay, Pluto is the planet, furthest planet from us. Pluto is the planet of being rigid, being stiff, right? And it's in Cap, right? So this is like a struggle to get past this energy, especially with it being in retrograde. So this is like the struggle portion because it's in Cap with your Jupiter, right? It depends how you choose to look at it. You could be stuck in the outer world, stuck. Actually, let's look at this real quick. So again, retrogrades, as it says here, and you read this, pulling back, rethinking, relooking. All right. Now, so they're saying, so Pluto's power, okay? So Pluto can force changes, exactly. So that's what I think. Pluto's like a forcing. It's forcing things into existence and forcing things into your life. And that's that same Jupiter energy. They're both, you're being forced, right? We're in quarantine. Everybody was forced to look at the George Floyd tape. Okay, everybody was forced to see exactly what was going on, and we're still being forced. All right. And Neptune and Pisces, Neptune, water planet. Okay, emotions, definitely Cancer. All right. So a fish, Pisces. All right, it's a fish in water. Psychic abilities all day. All right, psychic power, attunement. Again, feeling when you are that feather, that heart on the feather of Ma'at on that scale. You are sensitive to your environment. You're receptive. And part of that receptivity comes with diet. It comes with how you're thinking about yourself. If you're thinking positive, if you're thinking about yourself in a godly light, if you're thinking about yourself as a divine being, not a human, right? Or not a man, not an animal, not a savage, but a God. If that's your mindset, right, then you're flowing the Neptune and Pisces. You're really good. The wave is going to carry you, right? You just have to flow. Like I told you, we don't bow to retrogrades. We surf them, all right? So these, I'm showing you different ways to surf these retrogrades right now, all right? And then, of course, you could, if you have the Astro Matrix app, download it. If you don't have it, download it, and you can see these things for yourself. But what I wanted to do is go into, which we was already doing, um, is I want to talk about. So, okay, sexuality and sensuality is a Scorpio things. So they say it's a good time for any occupation which needs intensity and total devotion. So again, the same things when we're talking about intimate psychological examination, research, self-evaluation, examination, and setting old habits. All right. So a lot of these themes this year are about that: shedding old habits, transforming, looking back, seeing what you need to work on, chipping, polishing, and chipping in at the ends. Um, and so those things are important. Okay. So, oh, what I wanted to talk about was, so you know this FBI thing, right? We got to be careful with what. Oh, this is, well. Let me get into the Eastern astrology, then I'll get into that. I'm gonna get into my Eastern astrology real quick, and I'll get into that. So, the sun on the east. Okay, as I told y'all, if you're new here, I always tell you the eastern side, eastern hemisphere of the brain is the right hemisphere of the brain. It is the feminine part of the brain. That's why the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, because it's a representative of giving birth or giving life, which what a female does. It's also representative of the imaginative brain, the intuitive brain, because light, right? Intuition, you get a spark of light, which is intuition, right? When you download, it's a spark of light. When you know your favorite teacher says something great, right, that inspires you and makes you or see something that you didn't know before, you get that spark of light. So, okay. Also, it represents vision, right? Light is what you need to see. If you came out tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. and it was all dark and you couldn't see shit, right? There was no sun, you'd be like, what the fuck is going on, right? So the light is a representation of that feminine energy of giving birth, right? Light, when you wake up, when you come out of the womb, open the eyes to light. So on this side of the brain, or this side of the land, Gemini energy. So still the same twin energy, right? It's going to be there for a while. So in the east, they're going through are resided here. There's still that influence, right, of Gemini energy, of twin energy, of transformation. So of getting things back in balance. So the right hemisphere, your imaginative part of your brain, is looking to get you back in balance based on the planetary influences, right? So your vision is trying to get you back in balance, the things that you're seeing. The moon part of your brain, or that right part, is in Libra. So again, balance, balance. All right. Libra is the scales. So balance, balance. So this is an opportune time to get right. All right. And I'm not just saying this for you. I'm saying this for me, myself. You know, there's great strides when you are able to, when you are doing daily work on yourself, when you're making time to do daily work on yourself and make yourself better. Like there's no better feeling than when you're doing that. This is the moon phases app. This is the moon phases app. So that's the east real quick. Just want to go over that real quick. Also something I want to show y'all is coming up. Okay, lunar eclipse. Okay, if that's not some Gemini shit right there, I don't know what is. Okay, so we just saw that on the lunar calendar that Gemini is still popping. Okay, well, that Gemini energy is still popping on the east, and we're dealing with Cancerian energy here on the west, along with that Scorpio energy. All right. So, but the lunar eclipse will be in Capricorn, so that means it's going to be popping. All right. Capricorn, what does it say? Capricorn is the sign of responsibility, and its full moon reveals where we've fallen into avoidance or procrastination and where we need to step up and take charge. Ultimately, the Capricorn full moon calls for emotional responsibility, the ability to respond appropriately when strong feelings get triggered, stepping away from the drama and pulling our attention inward for solitude and reflection could be the best strategy. Okay. This 4th of July, me, myself, Rob Blackstorm, I'm not gonna be doing shit. And normally I would, right? I'd probably go to a barbecue, I'd probably hang out, with friends. I'd probably be out, enjoying life. On 4th of July, I don't celebrate it as a American holiday. I celebrate it as I don't celebrate this American holiday. I know that the day has to do with the red, white, and blue, the color of Sirius, right? And it has to do with those lights being in the sky, those stars being in the sky, that the particular constellation, which I can't remember at the moment, but a particular lunar constellation in the sky. So I know the significance of it astrologically and spiritually. But it's just a day off for me, right? When I'm working, like it's just a day off. It's just a day to hang out, chill with friends, have some laughs, a drink, and enjoy life. So I'm not one of those people that's like goes to the barbecue and starts talking about Black history. Like I'm not one of those people who goes to Thanksgiving, right, and starts talking about the Pilgrims and the Indians, right? There's a time and place for everything. There's a time to be a priest, and there's a time to be a normal human, right? There's a time to act human, and there's a time to act like a god. Each has its place, and we're going to get into that when we talk about the pentagram, right? Because again, the pentagram is used for dual purposes. Everything has its place. So this lunar eclipse again is going to what I was going to say is like this man, I'm not telling anybody what to do, but I'm saying this one, I'm staying in. Like I'm not doing anything on the 4th of July. I'm staying in, make my run to the store, whatever, but I'm not going too far from my house. And the reason being is because just the energy that we're in, it's going to be a very heavy time here in the West with the lunar eclipse happening, the solar eclipse happening, and a lot of I just have a feeling. This is not something I read. This is not something that I divined or anything like that. I just have a feeling that something's going to happen this 4th of July, like something big, where people aren't expecting it, and I just want to be safe. Now, if I'm wrong, then I just wasted the 4th of July, right? But there'll be others, there'll be others, hopefully, but yeah, I just feel like there's peace, money. I just feel like there's going to be something going on, so I'm staying in. But so the next day is the full moon, and I will be out, right? I'll be out uh, enjoying my. This is on Sunday, so I'll be enjoying my drum circle then in Brooklyn. But I say all this to say that you really want to be careful. Everybody isn't vibrating on this frequency that we are on. Everybody isn't tuned into Christ consciousness. Everybody isn't worried about healing chakras, right? Everybody is not in the mindset. So we have to really be careful out here, out and about. The statues are coming down. A lot of things are being changed. And all these white nationalists, they're not just going to sit there and take it. They're not just thinking, oh, this is just what's going to happen, right? I feel like on July 4th, in some of these states, that they're going to gear up. That's my feeling, that they're going to gear up and they're going to just, and I'm not going to put this out there in the universe, but again, I just feel like some danger is going to happen with these white supremacists based on the things that are happening and the retaliation, because we're still under war. Black people have to realize this is still a war. Um, this is still a war type of frequency that we're on, right? Black people didn't get shit, really. Like, what do we get? So, like some street signs and some statues and some fucking Aunt Jemima. Like, none of that shit helps nothing. None of that shit helps the kid in the hood whose mom is still strung out on crack, and have to figure out what they're going to eat for breakfast, as well as find a mask because they can't even go in the store. All right, and they can't afford the $2. Like, think about that. They can't even afford the $2 for a mask. Mom's on heroin because she's stressed out over COVID, lost her job. Now she can't even afford to get high properly, right? So these are dynamics, street dynamics that people don't really think about. People that's being abused, right? So kids that are being abused, right? Real life dynamics that are happening to people out here. And people that are highly stressed, highly irritated, highly pent up, and it's a very combustible time. So you definitely want to get on your protection. Get on your black tourmaline, get on your shungite. Get on your good vibes so that you could be protected and that you could see the future and you could dodge bullets, right? like Neo, but dodge bullets in a way of dodging problems and stupid shit. So now I want to talk about that lunar eclipse because that's important. We'll get back into it and dive a little deeper on the third. So we'll dive a little bit deeper into that. So let's get to. Oh, so what I want to talk about real quick because this disturbed me. This disturbed me. Yep, I got a Patreon now. Ow, this disturbed me. NASCAR, FBI. Now, if this is the not the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, and this is what they want you to believe, okay? FBI concludes no federal hate crime was committed at Talladega. Hold on, I gotta turn on the lights because this is how just to make these points because this is how stupid shit. This is how stupid this shit is, right? This is how stupid this shit is. So the next article, right? ESPN. Let's just look at this. This is some Cancer shit. This is some Neptune shit, and this is why this ushered in. As soon as Neptune started going retrograde, they started this bullshit. So FBI says Rope has been in Talladega garage since October. Bubba Wallace was not victim of hate crime. Now, what most people do is when they hear from an expert, what they think is an expert, and I was breaking this shit down to my daughter earlier today. If they think someone is an expert, right, they automatically believe him. So Fauci, he's an expert on infectious diseases. Let me listen to him. Oh, it's the FBI. They're experts on what's going on. Let's listen to them. Oh, Bill Gates. Oh, he's a scientist. He must know what's good for us, right? Oh, he's the president. Well, the president knows what's going on. I've heard this during 9/11. 9/11. Oh, well, it's the government. They must know that Saddam Hussein's a bad guy. They know how to protect us, but they couldn't protect 2 fucking planes from hitting. But that's another story. But the expert, you are the expert, okay? Anyone who's an expert at anything, you can be. All it takes is time. All it takes is dedication. All it takes is visualization, affirmation, and then doing it repetitiously. The same way anyone's an expert at anything, you could be an expert. In the movie Doctor Strange, what Doctor Strange was told by the Ancient One. Doctor Strange said, how did you know this? How did you learn how to do this? She told him, how did you learn how to be a doctor? So basically, he was saying, all you needed to do to be like me was to study hard. And he started reading books. And he started studying and studying and studying. And because he had a photographic memory, he was able to retain everything quicker than most people and therefore do magic, right? So it's the same thing. If you want to be an expert at something, all you have to do is learn. All you have to do is study. So if you just have to study it, you have to do a deep dive and study it. That's it. Okay? And there's nothing complex about that. You're right. All you have to do is study, and deep dive into it, and then you'll get answers. Now, this is stupid. This is the illusion that they put on the masses because the masses is going to say the FBI said it, so it has to be real. Why, if this is how stupid this is, but I got to bring it up to the masses, to the family, because I don't want us to be this stupid, right? Why come, as Erykah Badu said, why come would there be a noose in his garage? Why would all the other people not talk about having a noose in their garage if this is a garage door handle? And if we're here since October, you need to tell me of all the other 40-some people, he's the only person that had the noose hanging, and it's this garage door, this quote-unquote garage door handle, happens to be like a noose? But the FBI says... So you got to be careful, even from the experts, even from the people you watch on the news, even the people you see on TV. This is a great example of using your own mind and being a critical thinker, okay? This shit is stupid. This is not logical, okay? This is not logical no matter what the FBI says. It doesn't make sense, okay? There's no reason why randomly this just happened to be in this boy's garage. Okay? I don't give a fuck about NASCAR. And honestly, I don't give a fuck about Bubba Wallace. I'm just keeping it real. He does nothing to me or my life, nor does he entertain me. So I don't give a fuck about him. What I do give a fuck about is the way that they play with our intelligence. Okay? The way that they play these games, these mind games with us, and make us think because they're experts that we have to listen to them. No, you don't. All you have to do is, okay, expert X said this. Okay, this YouTuber said this, and even me. Okay, this person said this brother, this sister said this. Let me write it down, take my time before I make a judgment, look it up, do some research, and see, does this make sense to me? Not what they said. Does this make sense to me? And this doesn't make sense if you look deep into the story. Now, for time, I'm not going to get deep into the minutia of it, but if it doesn't make sense, it doesn't make sense. There's no way. There's no way this is not a hate crime, right? But NASCAR is a big white sport. So if they could get a couple of FBI agents, right, which are under the thumb of the president, quote unquote, so to speak, to say that it wasn't a hate crime, of course they will, because the masses are sheep and they're going to believe it. It's just the way it is. Don't be sheep. All right. If you follow me, I abhor sheep. I detest sheep. People that are sheep annoy me more than niggers, and niggers annoy me. But people that are sheep annoy me more than niggers, because at least with a person that's not a sheep, no matter their race, creed, or class, they could be an asset, right? They could, when shit hits the fan, right? They won't be a liability. But a person that's a sheep, that motherfucker is Agent Smith. You could puppet them like all you got to do is put it on TV and put it in the paper or put it on social media. And they're gonna say, "Oh, really? Okay." They're the worst. They're the liability of the whole human race. Sheep. I teach my kids not to talk. So anyway, this is obviously what we're gonna talk about tonight. So COVID, and they're gonna snitch, and they're gonna snitch fast on you. They have no loyalty to you whatsoever. There's no, there's no loyalty. Like even women who, right, when I go outside for a walk around the block and shit like that, and they tell me, "Yo, wear the mask." That shit turns me off. I don't even like hearing that shit, yo, because it's like it's like you're trying to make me conform. And usually I've already talked about this, right? So like whoever I'm dealing with or I'm talking to, I've already talked about this. Even if you're just my friend or my homie or we're close. I've already told you my stance on this, right? I've given you the information to look this shit up. But if you still tell me go outside, when I'm going outside, I'm like, yo, I'm going to the corner store, right? And you're telling me, yo, wear a mask. Or now if you tell me bring my mask 'cause I have to go in the store, that's perfectly fine. But if you're trying to force me to wear the mask based off what Fauci and Gates says, or what you saw on the news, or because you heard, oh, there's a second wave, like that should, oh, you guys don't know. You're trying to create, you're trying to turn a god into a sheep. That's how I feel, right? That's how I feel. You're trying to turn a god into the sheep, and maybe you don't even know better, but you should know better. But anyway, that's a different story. So this goes into, so what I want to talk about right here, right, is COVID. Okay, COVID in Florida. Let's look out, right? That COVID is tearing up Florida, right? This is what they're telling us. This is what the media is saying. That the Florida number is spiked. Let's look at Florida's weather today. Random. Random. Florida weather. 80 motherfucking 5. Okay? It feels like 94. Now, do you know what that sun is doing right now? Everything good in life. Okay? Everything good in life. The sun produces ultraviolet rays. Again, now I said this on Instagram, but let's look at what they're doing with ultraviolet rays and ultraviolet light. Okay? Ultraviolet is what they're doing to clean up the trains and the buses in New York City. I'm not making this up. I just got this off of Google. And there's three different articles. 1 million in UV machines to clean subways. Powerful ultraviolet lamps to kill the coronavirus on subways. Powerful UV light to kill the coronavirus on subways. Okay? So ultraviolet rays, okay, is what they're using to kill coronavirus. As you guys know, Trump has talked about them using UV light and everybody laughed at him. But even a broken clock is right twice a day. Everybody laughed at him, but he was right. And he was speaking about some real life science, which is what they're doing, UV rays. What produces ultraviolet rays? Let's look at it. Now, you guys are smart, know where I'm going to go. But just to people who may be new or maybe may not know where I'm going, ultraviolet rays come from. Matter of fact, let's just look at where do ultraviolet rays come from. I don't want to taint it. Ultraviolet radiation, UV, ultraviolet radiation is a form of electromagnetic, which is what I always tell you guys you are, electromagnetic radiation that comes from the sun. Okay, and of course, man-made sources like tanning beds with welding torches. But that radiation comes from the sun. So again, you got to learn how to be a critical thinker. And I'm showing you the Bubba Wallace example with the FBI, and I'm showing you this just before I even get into the five elements, because it's very important when you step into this type of magic, right? That you are a person that thinks critically. That you are not a person that as soon as somebody offends you, you go running to hex somebody. That as soon as someone at work bothers you, you go run to hex them. No, you have to think critically about it. Is it worth it? Is it worth me putting out the energy? All right, and we'll get into that a little further. But I'm prefacing this to say, how the fuck is it 85, 90, almost 100 degrees in Florida with the sun pumping out electromagnetic radiation, the same electromagnetic radiation, the same UV radiation as I just showed you that they're putting on the train, but yet they're talking about a spike in corona. They're talking about locking things down. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. If the sun is pumping out UV rays, that means the sun is killing corona naturally. Okay, there was people congregated on top of each other here in New York City during the riots. Why is it not spiking here in New York City? Why is it not? Why is Florida one of the hot spots, but not New York City? There's more space. I tell you this from traveling. There's way more space in Florida than there is New York. So, gotta think, okay? Gotta think. Gotta use your head. Gotta do some deep diving. Gotta see what's going on in the world, okay? I showed this to my daughter today. She said it makes sense, and she's 10 years old. Okay, so there's no way it could be spiking in Florida. There's no way it should be spiking in Texas. And ironically, they're both Republican states. So again, I don't support Trump. I don't support Biden, right? But Trump has done some shit, some good things, right? Even though his ass is a Nazi, he has done some things, right, that have benefited as far as the Prison Act and stuff like that. And I'm sure, even though they're all related and all that, it's all a game at the end of the day. The presidents are all a game. There's a concerted effort to drive Trump out of office. And it's kind of obvious too. Because it doesn't make sense. How is Texas and Florida creeping back up with COVID? Those are the hottest motherfucking states in in America to me. I've been in Florida and I lived in Texas. In Texas, that heat will kill you if you're not careful. Dead fast, especially now, especially in August. Dead fast. You could die in 10 minutes fucking with that Texas heat. So there's no way that shit's not killing coronavirus in everything. So again, just use your head, use your discretion. Don't believe the experts just because the news says it, just because there's an expert on TV, a doctor, a scientist, a motivational speaker, a doctor, a pharaoh, a fucking a priest, a yogi, a guru. Okay, use your own head. Make sure that the shit makes sense to you. Make sure that it's logical, and if it doesn't, say no. Turn it away. You could still, again, look at everything like trees. You could still learn 80% of what you need, and you can still get 80% of what you need from that person, and the other 20% be bullshit that you don't need, that's going to fuck your life up. It has nothing to do with you, but the 80% could be good. It's just like looking at a tree. Okay, you look at the tree, there's fruit that's good fruit, there's fruit that's not good fruit for you to eat on that same tree. So just get the fruit that you need, right? And obviously, I always recommend turn that motherfucking news off. With the internet, there's no reason for you to be watching the news or CNN. No reason. When you could just get your news off the internet. No reason you should be subjecting yourself to that fucking tense ass fear based news in 2020. It doesn't make sense. There's no reason. I was dealing with a girl before, and she was like, first thing she woke up in the morning was, yo, let's watch the news. I was like, nah, baby, I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? I was like, last year, I'm like, nah, I don't do that. I don't watch the news. And she looked at me like I had my head was cut off. You couldn't believe it. She was like, how do you know what's going on? I said, I don't need to. I'm more focused on what's going on with me. And she looked at me like I was even more crazy, right? She's like, but you don't know what's going on in the world, right? People really think when they watch the news, they know what's going on in the world. Do you? Do you really? This is what the news tells you, though. There's spikes in Texas and there's spikes in Texas and spikes in Florida. Okay? So, got to be careful out here. So let's get into the 5 elements. Okay? So, let us look up the pentagram. So let's look at some images. All right, this particular image is which we want to look for. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Let's pull this up real quick. I ain't even see this. So y'all reading, y'all looking at this with me. A monster star 2 million times brighter than the sun disappears without a trace. Wow. Okay. So this is the type of stuff that's happening in the universe. Okay. 2 million times brighter disappearing. A team of space detectives attempt to solve the case of a disappearing star, or I'm just for this time, just kind of grooving through it. And this is what I do in real life too. I don't need to read every single line. I just need to get the main gist. Detected one of our most massive stars of the local universe going grandly. All right, monster star ending life. Okay, so this star was 75 million lights away in the constellation Aquarius. Okay, 75 million. So didn't I just talk about us being in the age of Aquarius? So look at you see how things sync up sometimes. I didn't even notice. I didn't even notice I was going to stumble on this article. But there's no coincidence, only confirmation. All right. So it's funny that this star, 75, let's do the math, right? 7, 3, 10, 2, right? So 7 plus 5 is 12. 12, 2 plus 1 is 3. So we go back to the number 3, okay? So we just go back to the last video. I discussed 369. You'll see where I'm going. Yeah. So it's funny, okay? They say it was well studied, but now it just exploded, right? And it just disappeared. But they don't know what the fuck happened to it, okay? So that could even be, I think, that's another sun from another galaxy. Yeah, like it says, it's another sun from another galaxy, but it may be closer than it appears. But that's neither here nor there. Let me get into what I was getting into. Sorry for that sidetrack. That's the nerd in me, though. That's the nerd in me. Like, oh, new solar information. That's the shit that gets me excited. Okay, so I never seen this article, so I'm not gonna go into the article. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They might be saying some wrong shit. Let me glimpse it. Yeah, I don't want to talk about none of that. All right. So, nope, you can't. Yeah, they want you to see what's out there. That's why. They don't want you to see what's going on in the universe, especially right now. There's a lot of cosmic events. Shout out to whoever donated. I appreciate the donation. Cash App, $ Rob Blackstorm 7, okay? Also, the Patreon is up, so go check the Patreon. If you have suggestions or different things I should do on different tiers, you can email me, blackstormrob@gmail.com, blackstormrob@gmail.com, or you can hit me on Insta or FB. All right, but shout out whoever made the donation. Oh, shout out to I believe his name is Daniel. First name Daniel. Always leaves a donation 99.9% of the time. So personal shout out to you if you're here on the chat watching, or if you watch it in the replay. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. My family appreciates you. So definitely appreciate the donations. All right. So let's get into this pentagram, right? Real quick. Air. All right. So the pentagram they have is air, water, earth, fire, spirit. Okay. Now this can't be. All right. This is not logical. Okay. The reason why it's not logical is because, as we discussed, air is air. Spirit means breath, right? And what we breathe is air. So if you've been following me, you know, I'll go back into it real quick. Okay, so it's already there because I pull it up. Okay, so spirit, pneuma, breath, the spirit, which is like the wind. So spirit is breath. So there's no way the fifth element could be spirit, right? Because you're saying the same thing. Air is already an element. So if you're breathing in spirit, spirit is breath, which it says right here, right? I'm not making this up. There's no way that the fifth element could be spirit. Okay, so Rob Blackstorm is killing that today. All right, so let's go back to the pentagram. There's no way, spirit. There's no way. So this is based on my perspective. Okay, your other teachers may tell you different. But if I just showed you, spirit is breath, air, spirit is breath, and breath, you're breathing in air, right? Right. I'm not bugging, right? You're breathing in oxygen. You're breathing in air, right? So these two things are the same. Y'all follow me? Spirit and air, spirit, breath. Okay, breathing in air. It's the same shit. I'll tell you what it is in 1 second. So you have water, and I'm just running through the four elements. And I do teach a class on this. I have a couple of students, 4 element magic classes. And basically I teach you how to use water in magic. I teach you how to use fire with magic. I teach you how to use the element earth, and I teach you how to use the element air. And there's also a fifth element, which I'll get into shortly. So let's look at water. I'm not going to break down my techniques here for free, but I will go into it just a little bit of how they relate to you as the human, right? As the God in flesh. Excuse me. So water, you're made up of 75% water. All right. Your body's made up of 75% water. Actually, I don't want to move it. Fire is also one of the elements that you're made up of. All right. You get heat, generating heat. Right. So that is the fire element. The earth element, of course. Okay, the earth element, as we all know, we're made up of a physical body, minerals, right? Skin, flesh. This is all elements of the earth that makes up our physical body, right? We also eat food, right? Digest, burn, turns into fire and water as well. So earth, right? As you see, earth has a downward triangle. We're going to go into that. Also, water has a downward triangle, all right? Earth has a downward triangle. And we'll go into that because I'm going to show you different modes of magic that relate to both of them. And show you how to make your magic much more effective. Air is the next element. Okay, air. We just went into air. Air, breathing, breath, oxygen. You're breathing oxygen. Without your breath, you die. Okay, you go into a heart attack. You go into I mean, you can have a coma, and if your heart is breathing, and you can still breathe, you're still alive. If you don't have air, if you're not getting oxygen, who cares? Everything could be working properly. You will die. Okay, so that's how important air is, and they got us wearing masks in 90-degree weather. People are crazy. Sheep. Okay, so those four elements exist in you. Okay, those are four elements exist in all of us. And mastery of how to use those four elements at different places and times is highly advantageous. But when we talk about these four elements, on the fifth element, what I see the fifth element being, if it's not spirit, because spirit means breath, the fifth element has to be lightning. Okay, the fifth element is lightning. And the fifth element is a combination of all four of these elements to make lightning. Now you may say, how does this make sense? Well, let's look at lightning. Lightning comes in a wave form, right? If you look at lightning, let's look at a lightning strike. Oh, I want to hit a person. I just want to see lightning strike. Okay, lightning comes in a wave form. All right, it's not straight. It's wavy, just like a brain wave. Okay, that's a lightning strike. Let's look at a brain wave. Can't spell right now. Huh? Okay. All right. Don't this look like a lightning strike? Couldn't these be lightning strikes if you just turn this around? Okay. So the fifth element is lightning. Okay. So that's the wave. That's the water element. Okay. That's the water element. Going back to the lightning. Fire. We all know if your ass gets hit with lightning, or if anything, a tree gets hit with lightning, we know a tree can be lit on fire just by a lightning strike. We know your body will be charred and smoked if you survive, right? Let's look at some of these people that have survived lightning strikes, and you'll see their body is charred. They don't have the people here, but they have. Yeah, see, look at your man. Look at your man. Lightning. Okay. Look at the cow. Lightning. Okay. That ain't fire. I don't know what is. Okay. Look at the back. Lightning strike. Okay. So one lightning strike kills 16 people. It says. Okay. So again, look at this. Thor shit. Okay. Okay. He got hit by lightning like Thor hit him. All right. Let's hope he's okay though. So, all right. So that's the fire, the earth, lightning rises up from the earth. Even though it strikes from the sky, it rises from ground. Okay. That's how it's visible. So it rises from the ground. See, this picture is probably the best one. This gift, where you could see it coming from the sky, and then you see it rise back up. Okay, so that is the earth elemental lightning. Okay, this is basic science that you might have forgot in high school. Okay, but Rob Blackstorm is bringing it back into your attention. So you see it coming from the ground. Okay, I'm not making none of this stuff up. And obviously, air. You see the damn lightning in the air. Okay. So I ain't got to deep dive into that. You see the lightning in the air. So now you know the fifth element. Okay, Rob Blackstone told you. So when you combine water, fire, earth, and air, you create lightning. Lightning is magic. Okay, lightning is what the magical principle is. Lightning is strong in the spirit. Lightning is you entering the quantum realm. Lightning is based on the electricity and the spark of, yeah, you have to think about where lightning is coming from. It's basically water vapor and electricity that's forming, that's causing a spark that's hitting the ground. Lightning hit the Washington Monument recently. Lightning just hit a courthouse recently. Okay, that's plasma, and it also like a brain or the tree branch or the lungs. Correct, Mister Real Estate. So also looks like different parts of the universe. Okay, looks like your synapses too. So part of the brain and part of the lungs. Yes, that is a correct observation. So the spark of energy, when you're inspired, when you have great sex, let's look at something like sex. When you have great sex, you feel that energy up your body. It feels like lightning when you're about to orgasm, when you do orgasm. You feel that what they call the kundalini energy, that spiraling energy rising up. Is that not lightning? Is that not um yes, you're in the spirit, but is that not spirit energy being harnessed or utilized or focused? Just like Thor's hammer, right? It's like Thor's hammer. Is that lightning not being focused? So I say all this to say, and I say the fifth element light of lightning, and the lightning is magic, is how you are, that's how you're able to, that's how magicians are able to use the pentagram effectively. And that's how you're able to get results by using the pentagram, whether you're doing blessings, whether you're doing hexes, either or. This is why you can reverse the pentagram and the pentagram be used for summoning demons, right? I'm not saying summoning demons to scare anybody, but demons are not, how do I say this? To not scare you. Demons are nothing to be scared of. There's demons in your hood right now, okay, that are perfectly chilling and they don't bother you, right? They might, um, you know, they might sling the most crack. They might, not be the best people, but the way I look at it is when I've been in jams, especially when I was younger, and when things came, it was never the intellectuals that helped me, really. It was never the nerds that helped me, really. It was never the bright people that helped me, really. It was street dudes, like hood dudes. You know what I'm saying? Dudes that was in the trenches, dudes that knew me for what shit I was doing. The dudes that um they don't know shit about a chakra, they don't know shit about a kundalini, but they know everything about, um a scale and a pistol. You know what I'm saying? But those are the dudes that held me down, the street dudes. And honestly, today, if I got a situation, that's what I'm going to, my street dudes. I'm not going to. So the demons that we think, right? The people that we think. Remember, drug dealers selling the most crack to everybody, most heroin to everybody, but they were also doing the food drives. This back in the days in the 80s, they would give out food, they would hand out turkeys, they would buy out the ice cream trucks, right? This is what the OGs used to do. Nowadays it's different. These dudes, everybody's selfish, but yeah, they used to buy. You go to the park, they pay for the basketball tournaments. Buy new clothes for kids or pay for the uniforms, all that, right? This is what the OGs used to do. So so I use that as an example to say that what people think are demons or what people think are low entities, if you summon them, it's just how. Right? Now, again, for sake of time, and also I'm not going to go into depth of technique that I could, right? But maybe this is something I'll put on the Patreon, right, and go deep in depth. But I'm just explaining basically the overall concept. So when you're dealing with a demon, or when you're dealing with an entity that is on a low vibration, that deals with the pentagram, and I'm sure everyone's seen the Baphomet before. Now this is occult. It's not so easy, but this is true time. So you need to know the truth about everything. So you've seen this image before, the Baphomet, right? People call Baphomet evil. The Baphomet is not evil, okay? There's times in life where you have to go to war. There's times where you need demons. There's times where you need the hood people on your side to defend you. There's times where you need energy that is not light and peaceful. I got a download the other day, and I was thinking about angels and demons, right? Before I did this. This was like 2 days ago when I was thinking about doing this topic. And I was like, man, but people think demons are bad, and people think demons are evil. Evil, like how do you represent it? And and damn, I forgot my thought. But the voice in my head was just like you need you need gangsters on your team. Like you need thugs on your team. You need people that are gonna and outside forces. Remember, we're dealing with the invisible world. So we're dealing with deities that are older than we could even conceptualize what they look at. Remember, I always say some of your ancestors don't look like humans. Some of your ancestors look like aliens, different beastly forms, right? Things you never even thought about. The Earth is how many millions of years old, right? There wasn't. It's like your DNA has the first thing in existence in it. Like that's how strong and how powerful DNA is. It's recording from when you were a fish, from when you were a single cell organism, when you were out of space and stardust. Okay, because you're made of stardust. So that's how deep your DNA is. So when you see, for instance, when I did my Avengers breakdown, I was talking about how Thanos isn't a bad person or isn't evil, as how he's perceived to be. He just wants to see, he just seeks balance, and he's using the dark side to get that balance. He's using the dark side for war. His whole mentorship, even though the movie didn't show that, is he is mentored by Lady Death. And when you see this symbol, or when you see the upside down pentagram, when you get scared, you think it's about no, that it's about harming somebody, or it's about doing somebody dirty. Well, it is if they're fucking with you. You need dark magic if someone is fucking with you. That's when you utilize dark magic. Somebody's fucking with you. Somebody's doing some shit to get over on you. Someone's doing some shit to hurt you. Someone is dark magic is primarily a protective force, but it also could be an aggressive force depending on how you use it, right? But at the same time, if you're using this type of magic, you also have to remember it's still low level magic. It's still low energy magic. It's still dealing with the lower chakra set. It's still dealing with beings on the other side that have not raised their vibration to the levels that you can in this incarnation. Those beings are where they're going to be. And those beings can be used for purposes to protect and to go after those, and also to help you, right? Because a hood dude, it can help you in a certain situation, right? Thugs can help you. Thugs help make shit happen. You know what I'm saying? So the more gangsters you have on your team, really, the better. If they fuck with you for who you really are, right? Who your authentic self is, the more gangsters fuck with Martin, gangsters fuck with Malcolm X. I mean, gangsters always fuck with the gods, right? So you want some gangsters on your spiritual SWAT, and this is how you engage them gangsters. Okay, so the Baphomet is really just, and I'm gonna do a deep dive on the Baphomet, but the Baphomet is really just the stolen science of Allegra, or Papa Legba, or Legba if you just follow the voodoo and tradition. That's really all it is. It's some Europeans, right, who had our magic, and they were burning all the witches and killing anybody who knew magic. So they hid it. They hid the magic in the Baphomet. That's all it is. All right. But this ain't really our shit. We don't deal with just dark energy. We deal with dark energy and we deal with light energy. Now, there's a lot of people out here, a lot of spiritualists telling people that to focus on only using dark energy. Focus on only dealing with this. Focus on this being the Godhead. Focus on just this chaotic energy. Now, the thing about this symbol is it does represent the womb, right? Without the goat being in it, right? That's just a seal. But and again, that's just the Europeans. But just look at it like this. This is a feminine symbol, okay? This is dealing with the female, with the womb. It's receptive energy. That's why it's good for harnessing demons. That's why it's good for harnessing dark energy, right? Things like that. But this is a receptive energy. This deals with the womb. This deals with creative energy. This deals with giving birth to things, right? So when you are dealing with certain hexes, when you are attacking an enemy, when you are trying to acquire something and using dark energy to acquire it, how do I say this? The world, the environment that we live in here on Earth is low vibrational already, right? We're stuck, we're spiritual beings, fucking stardust, people that could literally fly across the cosmos if they were in these meat suits, right? People who come from, we don't even come from Earth, right? We come from the cosmos, right? All the ancient traditions tells us that we're foreign to this land. This is just a testing ground. So being that we don't come from here, we are already at a disadvantage coming in, right? And I want to say like the Christians where they talk about church, but we're already at a disadvantage spiritually coming in because this world is already on a certain frequency that's conducive to beast. And we can go deeper into that for time. I won't. But this world, hell, we live in hell already, right? Think of the things that happen to children, right? With the pedophilia, with the babies, and just overall, this is hell that we live in. Like, this is we are in this fucking arena right here, okay? This downward star is what it is, okay? And the this is where the modern society, popular society wants to keep you. They want you to keep you in this downward triangle. They want to keep you knowing about anything that has to do with the upward pentagram, okay? Which is, wait, I don't think you can see it on this side, but this is the different star, okay? The pentagram, all right? Now you can use the upside. Now this pentagram is for positive stuff, okay? This pentagram is not not a receptive like the upside down pentagram. This pentagram is an activator. This pentagram is about energy. This pentagram is about making things happen. This pentagram is about rising up. This pentagram is about inspiration. But when you reverse the pentagram, now you're talking about dark work. You're talking about um, gangsterism. You're talking about Santa Muerte. You're talking about sending out earthly energy, earthbound spirits. You're talking about suffering. You're talking about pain. You're talking about hate. You're talking about disgust. You're talking about, but also you're talking about heroism as well, right? You're talking about activity as well, but you're more so talking about bringing in energy because it's a receptive energy. You're more talking about summoning things, right? But these things can help you. These deities can help you. These deities can work for your behalf. These deities can make shit happen for you in good ways, right? It's all how you choose to use your demons. It's all how you choose to harness your demons. It's all how you choose to rope up your demons. And this star is one of the ways that you are able to keep them under control. So this is why a lot of people do a lot of rituals using this star, using the pentagram. And on the reverse, again, you could use it for darkness. You could use it for however you want to use it. You could use it for good, right? Sometimes, shit, you send a demon at a motherfucker that's, for instance, there's a person at my job where I was divining and I realized that there was fucking a child molester, right? So I used the pentagram, summoned a demon, sent them at him, you know what I'm saying? And lo and behold, next thing you know, a couple months later, he was all fucked up. He got in a pretty bad car accident, right? Almost killed him. So you send a motherfucker. Now that's not wrong. I didn't do anything wrong. That's justice, right? That probably stopped him from hurting that child again. You understand? So, and this is the thing when you develop your clairvoyant powers. This is why you can't really just read everybody's mind. Usually I do that for protection or defense, right? That's where I'm on this dark energy path. When I'm using that for protection, when I'm using that for defense, when I'm dealing with the earthly plane and everything that deals with the earthly terrain. Now, when I'm dealing with higher qualities, with growth, right? With abundance, with expansion, this is the side of the pentagram I use. Okay, higher level things, higher chakra things. But when I gotta go low, when I gotta deal with earthly things, even money, right? Getting money. Um, you know, now it doesn't mean you're gonna harm people that don't deserve to be harmed, but maybe there's people that deserve to be harmed that need to get it, right? And you have the ability to send that energy out, right? And then lo and behold, it, a company out of nowhere sends you a check, right? Or some corrupt shit that they did get exposed and you get paid off, or you get a severance. Some crazy shit could happen, right? Crazy things do happen. So it's all how you utilize the energy, all how you utilize the energy. And I'm trying to break this down to the simplest compound without it being too complex, but hopefully you get what I'm saying. So when you use this type of star in your magic, it's for a different type of energy. It's raising energy. You're dealing with higher frequency beings. You're dealing with angels more so to speak than demons. You're dealing with, and oh, this is what part of the download that I got. Part of the download that I got was angelic entities are primarily they're not really out for war, so to speak, right? They're not really war beings, but they will go to war if provoked. A demon doesn't need to provoke. A demon just is looking for the war, right? Demonic energy is just looking for the war. They're just looking for the problem. Angelic energy is not really looking for the problem. They more so want to see things grow. They more so want to see harmony. They're more so like, okay, you're coming at them with the sword, like they're gonna protect themselves the first two swings, but by the third swing, you try, they're gonna cut your head off. A demonic energy, they're not waiting for the first. They're trying to cut your head off immediately. Okay. So angelic energy, this type of energy is much more protective energy. This is why you see it on Captain America's shield. Okay, that adamantium shield that can't be broken. You see this pentagram, right? You may not have known it was a pentagram, but it's a motherfucking pentagram. All right. So is the stars on the motherfucking flag. All right, they all in this shape because America's supposed to represent high ideals and high morals and freedom, justice, and equality, even though we know that that's not the motherfucking case of that. And the pentagram being up is also a just a representative of like I said, higher ideals, higher values, putting things into existence. This type of magic you want to use with the pentagram up is really when you want to just get dope shit. Like you need a car for your family, right? You want to use the pentagram going up. You need a raise, but you need new skills to get that raise. You want to use the pentagram going up, right? But let's say you're at the job and you're being overlooked for a raise, and there's some bullshit going on. Then you flip the pentagram and you send the demons to work, right? You're being treated unjustly, right? But you can use either or. You don't have to use that. You can still use this, right? You can still use light energy, right? You don't have to, and this upward star is a representative of light energy. Now, where the magic happens is in the middle of the pentagram. All right, that's the magic happens. That's where you are able to tap into that angelic or that demonic energy, and you could actually put anything in the center to represent that energy. All right, we're going on 11 o'clock soon. Got about 8 minutes. Any questions about this? I know this subject is kind of confusing, but if you understand that angels and demons are just different polarities, it's just a yin and yang. That's it, right? It's just the dark side of the yin side. You have a dark side. You have a time when you get angry. An animal, you push an animal back into a wall, you're going to see an animal's dark side, right? It could be the most loyal dog. You had Fido forever. Keep fucking with Fido. Fido's going to snap and try to bite your head off, okay? So it's the same thing with working with that dark energy. Exactly, Raymond. Higher and lower chakras. Good question, Vincent. The difference when it draws is drawn on the ground is you are connecting to that earthly energy. All right, especially when you are doing the pentagrams, the stars, like this on the ground. Right, you're tapping into that earthly energy. But part of drawing it on the ground is you doing the spell work, you casting. Right, just like they have what they call in the movies, you cast the play. Right, you cast the role, and that's why they call Hollywood is magic, Hollywood magic. So you cast a role, so you're casting your spell, right? And usually there's candles outside in these corners representing the elements, and usually the middle again is where the magic happens. Good question though. Any more questions? Please hit that like button if you can. I would appreciate it. I see I have 26 and like, share, subscribe this, okay? Again, this is a subject that I want to like go deeper into, but for the public, I don't think it's appropriate for me to get into these certain techniques. But I'm kind of giving you the techniques without giving you techniques, but there's deeper ways to use these things. But for hexes, for banishing, for targeting, for um, retribution, my recommendation would definitely be use this when you are casting your spells, and you don't need to do it on the ground. You could just print this shit out on a piece of paper and get busy. All right, is karma involved when you use it? Good question. Well, let's look at it this way. All right, somebody bust up your girlfriend, right? you you come home, your girl said, yo, Sonny bust me up, right? But Sonny's a cop. I'm just using Sonny as an example, a fake person. Sonny's the cop, and Sonny just busts up your girlfriend, right? So you can't necessarily retaliate with the hands, right? So you retaliate by putting Sonny in this motherfucking in this motherfucking pentagram, right? Now, is that karma? No. Are you going to get bad karma from that? No. Karma doesn't really exist. That's a Hindu term. There is balance, right? There's what we call with the Kabbalion, there's a law of correspondence, and there's a law of cause and effect. Now, if I cause Sonny a problem, now let's say my girl was the one who was fucking with Sonny, right? Let's say she was cheating with Sonny. Sonny, she kicked, she was kicking Sonny in the head or some shit of an argument, right? And of course, before you do any type of this type of work, right, you want to get proficient in readings, because when you do this type of work, if you're not doing readings to qualify it, you're gonna fuck yourself up, because there's not a lot of law of karma that we deal with on this path. What we're dealing with is the law of cause and effect. Now, if I send this at somebody, or I send somebody some negative energy or some low level energy that doesn't deserve it, right? That I'm just jumping the gun, right? Some shit happened. I was at the store. I had an argument with Poppy at the store. Now I'm gonna set up. I'm gonna cast me a spell. Like, for what? It's just some shit that happened, right? But if you know how to throw your cards and do your readings, you'll know when to do it. You'll get approval by the spirit world when to do it and when not to do it. You'll get approved by your ancestors when to do it, not to do it. So again, so to answer your question, no, if Sonny's fucking with my girl and he's a cop, I can't get at him, but I could get at him with this motherfucking star, and I could fuck with his heart. I could make some shit happen to where he starts losing his hair. I could make all the relationships around him start to dissolve, right? This is the type of shit you could do with this work, right? That's not what bad karma am I going to get if you really need to know, if you're really talking about karma, or am I doing justice? Now, the Bible says justice is in the hand of the Lord. Let go and let God. You could do that as well. You don't have to cast shit. You could just let shit happen to them. Because if they gave you some evil, right, or they did you some harm, right, and you still feel your electromagnetic field is generating that energy towards that person, eventually it'll get back to them. But if you want to handle this yourself and take matters in your own hand as a God, you can. And to get quicker results, you can. Now, so you have to know what's going on, yes. And you want to be able to do readings before you do this type of work. And this is why I'm not giving you full details on really how to do this work, because honestly, this shit is not supposed to be for everybody. There's other things I could tell you about too, Solomon seals and different things like that. But this shit is not for everybody, and everybody's not supposed to know how to do this shit, because people, you see this right now on Facebook and these different groups where people don't know, just literally just walked in the door, like maybe got one book about magic, just walked in the door, and they get in an argument with their boyfriend or their girlfriend. They want to hex them. That's the first thing they want to do. They don't want to develop who they are. They don't want to deal with this, right? Because this shit will help change your whole mentality. This star will help change the way you think. This star will help change the way you feel about your body. So I don't want to tap into this type of magic though. This magic is not magic, right? And there's people online on YouTube that'll tell you how to do it. You know, I, for one, am not one of them. I know my techniques are effective. I know my tools are effective. And it's just not something you should just be giving away for free to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And even if you pay for it, it's still not something you should just give away for everybody. Because everybody doesn't know what the fuck they're doing. And you could end up fucking yourself over. Because the law of cause and effect is, yes, if you get in an argument with your boyfriend or your girlfriend and, oh, they cheated, you know, and let's say they cheated, right? You have an option of leaving them. But a lot of people will say, I'm going to hex them because they cheated, right? Because the girlfriend cheated, the boyfriend cheated. That ain't no hexable, that's not a hexable offense. It's not a hexable offense. They cheated, they slept with someone else. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it's painful. Yes, they betrayed your trust. But they didn't try to stop you from growing. They didn't stop you from living, right? Now, if they took your car and crashed your car and, you know what I'm saying, the person was wearing your robes and wearing your clothes and all type of shit that was just, you know, taking your hard-earned money out of your joint bank account, shit that was designed to lower your vibration, to lower your frequency, to make you feel less than, then yeah, cast a circle, cast a pentacle. You know what I'm saying? Use a pentacle. You could throw a hex, but if they just cheated and it didn't stop you from growing, it's not stopping you from living, it's not stopping you from getting ahead in life. Again, evil is the opposite of live. So anything that's stopping you from growing, like the sun gets light, water, anything that's stopping you from getting that light or anything that's stopping you or your flow is evil. That's it. That's it. That's it. So if you are cheated on, if you had an argument with a coworker, right? One argument. It's not enough reason for you to put them in that type of situation. It's not, because they're not really causing you physical harm. Now, say you have somebody that's domestically abusing you, throw their ass in the motherfucking circle. Let's say you have somebody that's bothering you at work repeatedly. You know what I'm saying? And you try to handle it on your own, but you just can't. Throw their ass in the motherfucking pentacle. You understand? That's how you avoid. But you just throwing people in pentacles and you just throwing hexes. You fucking yourself up. Because again, there's a law of cause and effect. They had an argument, a minor argument that you could have forgot by next week. And they didn't fuck with you over and over. And they not repeatedly or they didn't do that one thing that was drastic enough to fuck up your life and stop your progress. And you throw a hex at them. Or you choose to do that. The effect is you're going to get that shit right back, thrown right back at you, because it was unnecessary and unneeded. It didn't stop you from growing. So the same negative energy you threw at them, yeah, you might see an effect, but the fact that you threw it at them and it harmed them and it stopped them from growing, it stopped them from being progressive, whether it's, you know, their car crashed, their tire popped, you know, they fucked their leg up, whatever type of thing you threw at them, right? You're going to get that back. That's gonna cycle back to you. Not on some karmic shit, but on some cause and effect shit or the law of correspondence. Whatever energy you give, just like when you're working out, right? When you're working out, the energy you're giving to those muscles stirs a muscle. It causes a muscle to grow. So you don't want to put that type of energy out, right? To have something grow that didn't need to, that wasn't worth it, right? So when people talk about dark energy, just working with dark energy, just working with demons, You also have to be careful that you don't stay stuck on this earthly realm by doing that over and over and over and over. The reason that these two, this and this quick back and forth, turn into the hexagram, which is the ultimate magical sign. Okay, it's just a crude hexagram, which is the ultimate magical sign, is because balance is necessary. And this is why this is the sign that the Jews use. This is why it's on the pyramids in the hieroglyphs, right? This is why it is mastery, because it is dealing with higher and lower energies. And if you are stuck in one, that's like just being stuck in the yang energy and not yin. If you are stuck in one, you'll eventually stay dragged down magically in this earthly sphere. And you'll start getting more materialistic. You'll start getting more sensitive to what's happening on this earthly sphere and less sensitive to what's happening on the celestial sphere. It's just like Star Wars. That's the best way to explain it. There's power on both sides of the force. There's powers on the dark side of the force, right? If you're fucking with Dark Vader, Rilo Ken, right? There's power there. No undeniable. But there's more power that's going to be on the other side of the force, right? Because you're dealing with one energy deals with death and non-growth. So know what you're tapping into when you're tapping into this. All right. Any more questions? Any other questions? I hope that answered your question about karma. Karma doesn't exist. That's some bullshit that they gave us to keep people in line. That's cause and effect or correspondence. That's it. If I got to smack somebody because they was acting up, I'm going to smack the shit out of them. There's no karma in that. If I'm hungry and I can't, there's no way, shape, or form for me to eat, and I got to steal something from the store, there's no negative karma in that. That's survival. It's different. 72 names of God, Raymond. You okay, you know what's going on. You know what's going on. I ain't gonna get that deep, but you know what's going on. All right. I don't see any questions. I think I've been talking for about an hour and 40 minutes. I hope this made sense to y'all. I hope this was logical. Please hit my Cash App, $ Rob Blackstorm 7. I do have a tier on my Patreon. If you sign up for the Patreon, I do have a tier where I will be decoding. I'll decode a movie. I'll do a reading for you each week. And also, you'll get a chance to talk to me about anything for 20 minutes. Okay? So, yeah. So, and also the Cash App, $ Rob Blackstorm 7. Okay, Rob Blackstorm 7. And yeah, Mr. Real Estate, you don't really have to do anything, really. And this is a gem. Thank you for bringing that up, Mr. Real Estate. Even though my head is in the pentagram right now, the gem or the hexagram, the gem is this. You really don't have to do shit. The first law of the Kabbalion, the universe is mental. Your mind power is strong enough to hex, to bless, to curse. Also, I didn't say about this upper triangle. You could do a lot of healing work with this too. If you know what you're doing, you can help heal people long distance, close to you, mama, uncle, daddy, cure corona. If you know what to do with this star, if you know how to harness it, okay? So everything's not, and you can heal too with the pentagram. But the universe is mental. So the first spell you cast is in your mind, always. The first spell you cast is in your mind. The magic wand is your mind. Your thoughts, your visualizations, and your emotions. Remember the Holy Trinity, those of you who subscribe to me. If you haven't, go back and look at my Trinity video, the 369 video, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But that's the key to your law of attraction. It's the same thing that is the key to your magic. Your mind is first. All these external tools, wands, crystals, shells, cards, blah, 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 is secondary to what you could do here. All external tools, all physical tools are secondary to what you could do here with focus, intention, and emotion. Okay? If you're lived in a third world country and you didn't have shit, which a lot of people do, you could still make magic happen, which is what a lot of people do strictly by using your mind. All right? And with that said, guys, I'm going to say peace, power, and prosperity. Rob Blackstorm, I'll see you guys in 2 days. We'll talk on Thursday. I have an idea what the subject will be, but we'll talk on Thursday. That one might be a recorded. Like I said, I'm just going to be doing like 1 or 2 live videos, but if you do subscribe to the Patreon, you will get a third live video a week. So I'm hoping everybody has a great night. Hope this made sense to everybody. And I love y'all, man. Peace, power, and prosperity again. Rob Blackstorm out.